Soy Jennifer de Google's Paranormal. Estás oyendo Bigfoot Club Podcast.
Hey guys, please go to our website at www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. Check out our merch and all episodes. Also, please look for our social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Bigfoot Club 1. That's Bigfoot Club number 1. Also, check out Matt Knapp's Bigfoot Crossroads on YouTube. Check out our new sponsor. For your Bigfoot-sized coffee cravings, visit cbgindustries.store. They have over 40 products to choose from. When you enter promo code FIRSTSIP, you will receive a discount on your first order. Remember, every moment has its flavor.
Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club, Season 5, Episode 15. Hey, I'm here with my nephew, Steven.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much, Typical. You already know.
Yeah. It's. I would just say this. It's been a really pretty rough month of August for us. We just had just recently on August 30th, Bigfoot Club's own Tim Clay passed away in his home on August the 30th, and Tim's a really good friend of mine. The guy I met with the TBRC back in the early 2000s, and he was actually on Season 2 of this episode, on Episode 6, Season 2, and Episode 41 of Season 2. So he was actually on twice in one season. We were kind of expecting this, but still, it doesn't make it any better. He's a really good dude, really good friend, really good researcher. I don't know. I'll let you talk. So
it's just those who know me personally, they know that I'm not a big fan of August. It's my birthday month, and I don't like my birthday, so. I try to make the best of it. I try to be at peace with it, but we lost Clifton on August 9th, and then we lost Tim on August 30th, and it just those little things right there, like those big losses there, are just constant reminders of why I'm not a fan of August. So hopefully we can get past it and kind of help each other grieve, and then help us get on to the next day.
What kind of stories do you remember about Tim, or what kind of interactions do you remember about him?
They were always positive. He felt like an extra uncle that I had. Most of the people that you were best friends with in that group were like uncles.
Yeah,
Ken, the Marvelous Marv, Matt Knapp, and Tim, Luke, and but yeah, with Tim, it was just good memories. He knew how to make a person laugh. He just knew how to, and when you look at him and talk to him, he's very like calm, collected.
Yeah,
and,
he didn't get rattled too much.
Yeah, he didn't get rattled too much. He'd be like, if you were yelling at him, he'd be like, okay, and he'll just try to work it out. But he just knew when to throw in those ringers of like dad jokes or try to be funny. And then you know this too. He had a damn good memory.
He had a very analytical mind.
Yeah, and he used to always. What made me laugh is what your impression of him, like, or leading to an impression of him, saying like, God dang, Tim, you got a damn good memory. Like, I was like, smoking like 2/3 of a cigarette, and
it was an autumn.
It was an autumn.
The barometer was at 3.4.
Yeah, and and then he would be like, no. Like, if you were telling a story, he goes, "Oh, Bob, no, I think that was I think that happened in the nighttime. I didn't think it happened in the morning."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he is a good dude, man. He had a lot of good stories. He was also huge Star Wars fan, and he would like rag us if we didn't know anything like whatever Dave Filoni knew. You know, he would rag us like pretty hard on us.
I think if I remember correctly, he quoted us or he said, "You guys are just casual fans. You guys don't know anything about the deep cuts of Star Wars, the backstories, the origins." And I'm all like, "Whoa." But yeah, Tim was a great dude, and you know, the Bigfoot Club suffered another loss, and those who knew him or those that didn't know him would like to know him, and you know, listen to those episodes of season 2. I believe you said episode 6.
Episode 6, season 2, and episode 41
on season 2. Listen to those episodes, and you hear. That's why I was saying not too long ago, a couple episodes ago, where it's great to have our voices on this platform, and you know, because you never know when that person's going to be gone, and you know, the worst thing about losing, like, you know, people like my mom and all that stuff, you know, it's as the years go by, it's sad because you kind of, you know, don't remember their voice. That's the saddest part. You can remember everything else to the slightest detail, good memories, bad memories, you know.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you kind of, you know, you lose the memory of their voices. Like, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you remember how Theo Victor sound?
I have an idea.
You have an idea, right? Yeah. But you don't have that. You can't go back to it and be like, oh yeah, that's Theo Victor. You know, that's Theo Victor.
I remember like some of the phrases he said, but maybe not his tone. Mm-hmm. I don't recollect, but yeah, I don't know. It's just really, really tough to lose him. I feel really bad, and I know I'm probably saying this, probably shouldn't, but I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him. I didn't see him before he left, and the last time I talked to him was 2021. Like, it
was like right after you were getting better, right?
Yeah, it was right after I was getting better. Because he visited me in the hospital a lot, so called me a lot, and he was like one of my people, like you and everybody else that was encouraging me. He was one of the voices that encouraged me so much to, you know, to get up and get going and, you know, get moving. And oh man, I'm gonna miss that dude a lot. He was my inner clique. It was like me, Luke, Ken Marvel, Boudros, Tim Clay, you know, Mike Sells. Mm-hmm. They were my, you know, Mike's not here no more, and now, you know, Tim's not. So, but you know, I haven't heard any news on his funeral, but anything like that. But as soon as I do, I'll probably not post it, but I'll probably tell, you know, everybody else that needs to know about it. So,
yeah, I don't know if his wife ever listened to Bigfoot Club. I don't know if his son
Seth, I don't know.
But if they, if they weren't able to know that they can hear his voice, if they ever feel in the dark, and you know, because it's grieving is hard, and you know, sometimes you just want to hear their voice one more time.
Yeah, so, that's good. That's reassuring, and we should probably let them know about that too. So, but who knows? Maybe they're listening already. So I don't know.
I hope so. If they are, go to episode 6
and 41
of season 2.
Yeah,
and he is on there.
You were on 41, right?
I think I was on 41. I don't think I was on 6.
Yeah, it was 6 was me, Ash, and Collops. So. And then I think by the time we got to 41, it was me, Ash, and you and him. Because I think he came over on 41, I think.
Yeah. And I think so.
And he cooked for us, I think, or he brought some tacos or something. Do you remember that? Maybe it was 6 he did that.
I think it was 6.
Yeah, he brought like chorizo tacos.
Yeah, that's right. Because you were saying, oh yeah, you missed it. You know, he made some really good burgers. I go, what?
Yeah. So
he's like, sorry, man.
Yeah, we talked about the Mandalorian on 41.
Yeah, we talked a lot of Star Wars on that one.
Yeah.
You know, sorry for not talking about Bigfoot, but you know, hey, we're
sorry for the podcasts that are posted memes about me, but not talking about Bigfoot.
I wasn't gonna say that far, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so well, today we got I haven't called him yet, but we got a guy, John Burton, that had an amazing story. So I'm going to text him right now to let him know we're going to call him. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hey, John. It's Robert Dominguez with Bigfoot Club.
Yeah, man.
How are you?
Well, I'm just a little bit tired. How about you?
Pretty good. We just put my nephew Steven is on also. Say hi, Steven.
Hello.
So,
Okay.
John, if you don't mind, kind of just tell us a little bit background about you and, you know, how you got into Bigfoot before we talk about the story.
Well, in 1967, I saw a ad on TV on the news about they filmed Bigfoot at Bluff Creek, California, Northern California. And I got an interest in it. I was 17 at the time. And then I found out that you could join Patterson Bigfoot Club, so I did. They sent me a card and a 5 by 7 picture of the Bigfoot. That was the first time I ever got interested in it. And then as time went on, I didn't think much about it. Years and years went by. I got married and had children and all that stuff. And then I had heard some different stories around here. I was at a hunting camp one night, and a friend of mine said there was a thing called the booger.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a place here called Booger Holler, close by to where I live. And it turned out to be a Bigfoot that they seen over there. And then we had an instance at Fox Creek with 2 hunters a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago. They seen a Bigfoot cross the river down there with his hands up in there walking like a monkey or something. And then that's, other than living in the Bankhead National Forest for 12 years, heard all kind of things up there, but I never saw a Bigfoot or anything, but that's pretty much it up until 3 years ago up in North Carolina.
Okay. You want to talk about that? How you came to go up there and had this incident?
Yes, we've been taking vacations up there every year in the Smoky Mountains, and I had rented a cabin up at Whittier, North Carolina. It's southeast of Bryson City and kind of northeast of Franklin, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But the only cabin I could get was right on top of a mountain. You just about had to have a 4-wheel drive to get to it. So I rented it, and it had been raining. But we got up the mountain and got to the cabin, got settled in. This is on Friday. After we got unloaded everything, we decided to go out and tour around, see what was going on in the park, maybe go look at some elk or something. So we left. And we stayed out all day long and got in kind of late, probably about 10 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. Anyway, we were hungry and she wanted to fix us something to eat. So she went in the kitchen and started cooking us something. I decided to get me a shower. So I went ahead and got me a shower. When I come out, we ate supper, and then she said, I'm going to get me a shower. And then she went and got her shower, and I sat down and cut the TV on. We was watching a little bit of TV when she got out of the shower, and then she said, well, I need to go finish up in the kitchen. So she went in the kitchen, of the cabin and started cleaning up around the sink. And she heard something out on the porch, and she kind of notions me come over there where she was at by the window. And we got talking about it, and I looked out the window and didn't see nothing. Then we heard something fall over out on the porch. So I said, uh-oh, we got a varmint or a deer or a bear or something out here.
Mm-hmm.
So we just came on toward the living room there, close to where the bed was, and then we heard the floor cracking out on the porch. And then I got a little scared, and she did too, and I went over by the bed, and I had my .38 pistol and my phone on the lampstand. But while we were standing there, this thing come by the window, and it was really huge, enormous shoulders. You could barely see the head. It had big old arms. It was jet black. And there was a lamp on the pole outside, a night light, reason I could see it real good. And I started to reach down and get my phone to make a picture of it. Then my gut said, no, get the .38, the pistol. So I picked the pistol up. While we were standing there, he just went right on by the window and turned and looked for a second. It made a grunt. And then we were scared the rest of the night, barred the doors up with chairs, cut every light on in there. And we was expecting to hear something. We didn't hear anything else the rest of the night. I guess it went on up in the woods. But the next morning, we packed everything up, and I went outside and looked around. The cabin was sitting on a rocky knob. There was all kind of rock outcroppings, and it had rained. And, of course, leaves were everywhere. It was in the fall of the year. And I couldn't find any tracks, but I did see where it knocked over a big old flower vase. Flower vase was about 3 foot tall. But anyway, I put the key in the return box, and we left and went somewhere else. And that was a pretty bad experience for us. And it wasn't, I wouldn't care if I never seen another one, to tell you the truth.
That's pretty interesting. Now, when your wife first heard it on the porch, was this like a wooden porch that had it was creaking as it was walking, or you could just hear it? You can hear the footsteps on it.
Yeah, she heard something on the porch. Couldn't really tell what it was at the time. Of course, the porch had a wooden floor across it, and it's a pretty good sized porch. Porch is about 10 foot tall. The ceiling in it, pretty good sized little old cabin. But we heard it coming on down the porch. That's when we went in there by the window, by the lampstand. And I don't know, it's just a scary night.
So was there any other like cabins or campground people there that night as well, or was just you and your wife, and that was pretty much it?
It was just me and my girlfriend, not my wife.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
This is a really remote cabin.
Okay.
Long ways up in the woods.
So you were also saying that you saw it on the window, right? Was the window open? Did it have blinds or have like a shaded kind of draw where you could see like a silhouette or something? Or how did you see it?
I could actually see it because the blinds were up and the curtains were pulled back, and the night light was shining right on the porch. So I got a pretty good look at it.
What a color? You said it was jet black, right? Jet black.
It was, as far as I could tell, it was jet black, and the hair looked kind of long on it.
Did you see like a facial features or the size of it, like the shape of its head?
The face looked flat when it turned toward us. Of course, it went out of the light when it turned towards us. I didn't get a good look at its face, but when it turned back, the face was flat. There wasn't no nose sticking out or anything like that. It didn't have a huge nose or anything.
And so at this time, you kind of said instead of grabbing your phone, you grabbed the .38. Do you think it saw you grab its .38 and it was like, okay, I'm going to leave, and it grunted and like turned away and then walked away?
I'm not really sure. It could see through the window, but I got scared. I loved to have a picture of it, but that was secondary to my mind at that time. I was scared.
Steven, you got anything to add on?
No, I was just going to say that I think, like what you said about the grunting, like, obviously when you see something like that, it doesn't matter. Like, it's you're going to feel some type of, what is that? Your instinct is you don't know what it is, and it's like fear. Mm-hmm. So him,
you go into self-protection mode. You
go into absolutely. Whether it be that, or if you see a lion or a bear or something like that, you're automatically in protection mode. So I think this type of whatever you saw felt that. I guess it felt your fear, and then it you went into protection mode. You grabbed was it a 38?
Yeah, 38 pistol.
So
that would have just pissed it off.
Yeah, that would have definitely pissed it off. But it felt, and that's probably why it grunted. Like, okay, like I guess this is my cue to leave too.
So I kind of thought, and I was talking, John. I know we talked off show before, because when you reached out to me on Messenger before this, and we talked off show about. I had felt that this Bigfoot was looking for some food or some scraps or whatever. I kind of thought, because I think, it just happened to appear right after you guys cooked and eat dinner. Do you mind can I ask what exactly did y'all eat, or do you recall?
Do what now?
Do you recall what exactly you guys made to eat that evening?
It was bacon and eggs.
Oh yeah, I would have came to that too.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That bacon and eggs that smell can travel pretty good. So I'm willing to bet, John.
Yeah,
it probably smelled this and try to find some scraps for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no telling how many times it's come around that cabin, looking for stuff, because there's trash cans right outside by it had a sonar with it, and the trash can was just right out there at the edge of the woods. I don't know what was in it. I didn't even look. They're supposed to get all trash up before another occupant comes in.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a sense on how tall this thing was?
Well, the porch is about 10 foot, the ceiling in the porch. Mm-hmm. And when it come by the window, I seen its elbows and its arm and part of his shoulder. But when it stooped down, it stooped down to look in the window, so that's how tall it was. And the window's about, I would say the ceiling of the window's at least 6 foot.
So I would probably think it's probably like 8 foot, maybe 7-8 foot.
Mm-hmm. That
at least over 7 foot.
Yeah.
Over 7 foot.
Yeah. Did you have an idea that this was a male? I know it's going to be that's a hard question. Mm-hmm. Do you think this was a male or a female?
I'm not really sure. I didn't get any kind of. I didn't get that good of a look at it. Mm-hmm. I just know it was big.
Okay.
I didn't see any breast on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been so dark I couldn't tell, because when it turned, everything went black. It just it was just a big black thing standing there. When it turned toward the window, because it was facing away from the light on the pole.
Mm. Did you happen, like, prior to you guys getting settled in the cabin, and then afterwards, after this incident, did you ever hear any cries or howls or tree knocks at all?
Nothing like that. It was just a surprise visit, I guess.
I'm willing to bet that this thing was watching y'all as y'all showed up, and probably watching you guys whenever you guys left. So I wouldn't doubt if it came around after you guys left and try to find what was in the cabin or something like that.
Yeah, I was just probably just looking for food. That is my guess to it. But yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Like that's a scary situation. You're like, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You don't feel comfortable sleeping, all that stuff. It puts you in that uncomfort zone, and I don't blame y'all for, like, you said y'all left the next day.
The next morning after I checked around, we didn't get any sleep, maybe 30 minutes, dozed off just out of fatigue, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Because you said that was east of Bryson City, right?
Southeast, yeah.
Okay. That's
kind of northeast of Franklin.
Okay, that's Wayne County. And I was talking to you off show. There's at least been like 4 incidents reported. So there's probably like a lot more that probably haven't been reported. So there was an incident in January 2020. Smoky Mountains observed a Bigfoot along the Little Tennessee River. There was one in 2015. Vocalization blamed on relentless night and possibly vocalization of a remote mountain cabin near Bryson City. Wow. That's odd. I just read that, so I didn't even read that before when I was talking to you, John. There was a one in January the 5th, 1998, long trail of 13-inch long human-like footprints found deep in the snow and a rough terrain. There was a summer of 1975. Hikers find out a footprint in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So there are multiple. So like if you get 4, there's probably like 10 that's not reported, and they're probably running all over. That's the Smoky National Park, right? That area there, John?
Yeah, it's not in the park, but it's not but about, I would say, 40 minutes from the park entrance over at Cherokee.
Now, John, I'm going to ask you a question, and if this bothers you or whatever, I can take it out. I can delete it later. But have you had any night terrors with this, or your girlfriend had any night terrors and result of this incident?
Well, for a while, I looked out my windows a lot at night. Mm-hmm. I hadn't had any bad dreams or anything, but I've had some issues thinking about what I could have done. We were so far away from people. I mean, you had to go all the way down the mountain to get to the paved road. So I mean, it was a long walk to get out of there.
Yeah.
And the woods are so thick. A helicopter couldn't even got in there.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
Yeah, no, that's not,
Yeah, Steven and I, we go to the Kiamichi Mountains in southeast Oklahoma, and it's a pretty rural area. And once you get in off the paved road, like just like your story, it's a rocky terrain, and that's really thick up there. I don't think any helicopter could get in there either. So
yeah.
I totally understand that completely. So.
Well, I'm not one to scare easy. I was raised up hunting with dogs, coon hunting, deer hunting, rabbit hunting. Here in Alabama, we hunt all the time, and I'm still an avid hunter and fisherman and an outdoorsman. Mm-hmm. Also a mountain man. I make my own clothes, shoot flintlock, so it takes quite a bit to scare me being in the woods all the time, and that pretty much shook me up.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, the situations like that, like, it's you'd be surprised how many, like, we come across or hear stories about that. Like, I've been in the woods a lot. I've hunted a lot. I've never seen this thing before in my entire life. And it just takes that one incident where you're just like, whoa, like,
yeah,
it's scary. There's no doubt about it, John. It's scary.
John, there was a gentleman we interviewed a couple seasons ago. Mm-hmm. He used to be a wrestler, and he wrestled Andre the Giant. And he said when he saw this thing, it was two Andre the Giants shoulder to shoulder. And he says he's never seen anything that big move so fast. And it moved so fast, it looked like it was floating. That's what he said. And he had night terrors, and I think I talked to him like for 3 years straight. We talked about it all the time, and he doesn't have him anymore. But he was terrified. He thought this thing was gonna kill him. And I told him, I go, John, if it was gonna kill you, it would have done it. But it was just trying to push you out of the area. And so this one, the story that you're telling me, it just sounds like he was looking for scraps. And if they felt any resistance, he left, and he probably got pissed off and knocked over that plant you said, knocked it over and just walked off and said, "I'll look at another cabin probably." So that's my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, that's what I thought. I said that's what I thought. I did get a real, almost spiritual type feeling when it come by the window. I don't know. It's just like it's an energy.
Mm-hmm.
My adrenaline started flowing real strong or something. I don't know how to explain it.
Did you feel lightheaded or nauseated at all whenever you had this incident at all?
No, I just had a weird feeling like I was being energized or something.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know if the fear caused that or what.
Yeah, because the theory on this, and I'm the background I had, John, is I've been a researcher for 20 years for Bigfoot, and I was a researcher for the paranormal for like 10. And so I used to research, in the paranormal, and whenever ghosts would manifest, it's called EMF. And if the body gets, bombarded by EMF, it causes nausea,
dizziness,
lightheadedness, stuff like that. And so I've interviewed so many people in Bigfoot that claim that, the theory is that Bigfoot gives off infrasound, which is similar to EMF. And so whenever a Bigfoot feels threatened or harmed, it emits this silent scream or energy. And it can immobilize like a deer or something or a raccoon, and then it'll make it easy for them to strike and get it. So whenever it runs into a human, the theory is that it emits this energy, and it's not, you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't, you can only measure it with like an EMF reader. So I was asking you, had you felt that? Because, it may have been, it may have felt threatened and then emitted this energy and then left. So that's the reason why I was asking that question.
Yeah, that's the only thing I felt was an energized. Like I know my adrenaline was running real high because I was scared. Mm-hmm. But other than just an extremely bad, scary feeling, I mean, it was just like like a nightmare happening in real life or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm assuming your girlfriend felt the same way, or if not,
she did. She's worse than me.
Yeah, if not, I was about to say if not worse.
So do you still talk to her, this lady, or no?
Well, I went through open heart surgery 2 years ago, and we kind of quit seeing each other. But I mean, I've been friends with her since high school. We're still good friends. I'm just not dating her anymore.
Right.
We're not in a relationship anymore.
Okay. Have you talked to anybody else about this story or at all?
Yeah, the guy from the Blue Ridge Bigfoot people, they call me.
Okay. Are they pretty good people?
Do you know him?
I don't think I do. I think I've heard of the name.
Yeah, they're real good people.
Okay, good.
They're real good. He didn't put it on a radio show or nothing like that. He just wanted to talk to me about it.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need to talk about it again, John, we're always available to talk to you again about it, and we don't have to record it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be on the podcast. If you want to talk about it again, we can always talk about it. I'm always available to talk to anybody regarding, this creature and how the incident occurs and stuff like that. So I like to help people. That's just one of the things I do. So if you want to...
Sure, I don't mind sharing. I don't mind you sharing anything I tell you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We were talking off show, and you had mentioned Todd Standing. So I wanted to pick your brain about that. Could you tell us a little bit how you got involved with Todd Standing?
Oh yeah, I've got friends right here that are involved with Bigfoot research. One of them's my cousin, and he told me that Todd Standing was coming to this area. And I had a lady friend that he was going to stay with, her and her husband. And I contacted them, and she told me to come over, and I met Todd Standing, and we went to, he wanted to know where some good areas were to go do some filming at for a documentary. So he followed me up to the mountains. There's a place called Rebecca Mountain and Horn Mountain. And it's Hollins Wildlife Reserve in that same area. So I took him up there, and we got out. He done some videoing, and we talked, walked up a few trails, and spent the day up there.
Okay. So you were like almost like a guide for him.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't get any money out of it, but that's kind of like a guy.
But
he's an interesting guy now. I don't really know how to. He was real nice to me. That's about all I got to say about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about him too. The Bigfoot world, you know, most of the Bigfoot community that I can't talk highly of. John, is just a lot of the Bigfoot community does not like Todd Standing, and they just think I don't know, that he's like a hoax artist. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough of the guy to criticize him. I mean, I'm sure he does what I'm sure he's pretty passionate about trying to find Bigfoot, and I know he did some discovery shows. He did something with Les Stroud, and he had his own show for a little bit, and he had some interesting photos of Bigfoots that to this day still gets criticized immensely. I know we did a show on it, and we talked about it, his photos and stuff like that, but you know, I'm at that point where I'm trying not to judge anybody too much anymore. I mean, I try to see what the evidence they have, and then just try to, you know, give my best, you know, opinion about it. But I'm sure he's a great guy. So, but I wanted to thank you for sharing that with us completely.
Well, you're welcome. Like I say, he was nice to me, so I can't say nothing bad about him. I don't know about his personal life or nothing, but time I spent with him, he was a real nice guy.
Yeah. Did you talk to him about your story and stuff like that, or?
I think this was before.
Okay. That's right.
North Carolina.
That's right, because that was, 3 years ago? Okay, all right. And you met Todd Standing in when? You know, what year did you meet him in?
Let's see. 21. It had to be around 21 or 20.
Okay. All right.
When he come to Alabama.
John, I was going to ask, you've been in the woods recently, right?
Well, I try to go every week. I go on private land and I hunt and stuff, hunt deer. And, the turkey season's fixing to come in, and deer season too. So,
I was gonna ask, since this incident, do you always keep your head on the swivel now? Like especially when you're in the woods, like you have I guess you have a keen eye of I'm pretty sure you're hoping I don't want to see this again, you know. But do you always is there that moment in time when you go in the woods, you know, I hope I don't see this again, or, you know, you're just looking around. Do you ever feel that way ever since you went back or go into the woods after that incident?
If I go in the woods now, somebody's going to be with me. I refuse to go by myself.
Ah, okay. The buddy system. That's
smart.
That is smart. That is always good, because it's always good to verify. You see that? Verifying that what you see is what they're seeing. So no, that is perfect.
John, you have any questions for us at all, or?
I've got some Cherokee in me, native blood. I kind of lean toward the spiritual part of the Bigfoot. I think it's got a sense that we don't know about. Mm-hmm. I was wondering what you thought of that.
You know, I'm totally on board with that, because actually whenever I first started in Bigfoot in 99, 2000, I was with a group called the Texas Bigfoot Research Center, and they thought we had teachings in that group of this was a flesh and blood ape, like primate. And then whenever I left the group in 2002, I took my nephew Steven with me on the field and stuff. We would interview different people, because like whenever you're with a group, you kind of get limited on who you can talk to and who you can't. And so I've talked to like Caddo, I've talked to Choctaw elders and stuff, and we've gone up to Oklahoma and East Texas and stuff, and they always believe that this animal is like spiritual as well. And they always tell me, like I've had native of affairs officials, like police officers, tell me that the white man's never going to find this animal because it could turn itself into a raccoon or a moose or an elk or a deer or whatever, or a falcon. And so I kind of believe that, because like I said before, I was in Bigfoot for a while, and I was in the paranormal. So a lot of the stuff that I've done in the field, John, and Steven can speak with me, is that we've encountered like a lot of different things in the woods that are not Bigfoot, and I can't put my finger on it, or I can't explain it, why we see these certain things, or these mists, or these I wouldn't say portals, but just energies that shouldn't be in the woods, because we have gauges, like EMF gauges. And there's like no energy in the woods. There shouldn't be like any light poles, any, power boxes or anything like that. And then we would get energies like in the woods, and we can't explain why. So, I have to agree with you on that. So I know it's a long answer. So, but yeah, I have to, Steven, you want to add anything to it?
No, I'm going to piggyback on what you said and just, say, yeah, it's we're seeing it or hearing it is one thing. Hearing something that's unexplainable, and you're like, oh, it's got to be a Bigfoot, or I don't even know what that is. Seeing it, kind of like what you saw, was probably once in a lifetime thing, because you're seeing it, yeah. Being confronted by it, that's another thing too. But yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna catch it. We're ever gonna actually physically catch one. And why? Yeah. Why would you?
Right.
It's just not humane. But I know a lot of people higher up, or there's a group of individuals, I won't say who, but that believe kill one and then, dissect it or get to know it. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's a religious. I think it is a spiritual thing.
Yeah, I mean, because John, I can just tell you, Steven and I, we haven't seen one, but we've got yelled at in the woods, we've got whistled at, we've got rocks thrown at us, branches thrown at us and stuff.
Tree knocks,
howls, grunts,
and it was it a Bigfoot? We don't know, but it was definitely certain. It was an intelligent thing that was responding whenever we did tree knocks or yell or something like that. So we've never had. And we always ask each other too, like, what would you do if you saw one? Well, I like to think that I would be able to, but just seeing it is a totally different thing.
John, if you don't mind me asking, what county are you in Alabama?
Tallapoosa County.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
It's between Tallapoosa County. It's between Auburn and Birmingham, close to Cheehaw Mountain.
You said Tallapoosa? Okay.
It's an Indian name, Tallapoosa.
Yeah, there's only been one sighting there, and that was in 1967. We were told of cold case daylight observation outside Alexander City. I'm looking at the BFRO website. They usually have the best database on, current and old sightings and stuff, and but there's tons of woods in your area, right?
Yeah, huge wooded, a lot of woods.
So I'm sure there's surrounding counties. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I go to Coosa County a lot in Randolph County. I lived in Randolph County for 22 years. A doctor and his wife and his child, son, seen one cross the road up there in Davidson, Alabama.
Wow.
Awesome. another unreported sighting.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
So
see what I mean on that? Or
Yeah.
You brought that up, how it says how many sightings on there, but there's like 10 other unreported
I
sightings.
mean, that's what we usually go off of, because there's so many people. Because, whenever you're in the field and you talk to people in the woods or boat ramps or in lakes and stuff, they'll tell you a story. And I asked them, have you ever reported this thing? Oh, no, they don't want to do it. And it's understandable. I'm not bad mouthing anybody who doesn't want to report it, but the more people who report it, it helps people in that area, have an understanding, because most of the people that Steve and I used to talk to, they would go to their spouse or their local, law enforcement or game warden or park ranger, and they don't know who else to go to. So they end up a lot of times coming to us, and we'll end up talking to them and try to help them out the best we can and try to counsel them, just try to let them know that they're not crazy, that they've seen these things, and these things do exist. So,
and help them understand not to be scared of them, even though it's hard to.
Yeah,
easier said than done.
It's hard to convince that. So.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
There's a mountain range over in Georgia, about an hour and a half from here, called Pine Mountain, Georgia. They've had a good many sightings over there by the rangers. So I mean, they're all over the southeast.
Yeah. And I like the point when in the very beginning you said booger. They call them boogers, and they call them, some of the people here call them that too, and some of them call them locals because they've been here longer than anybody. And then some people, they call them the hairy man, or the thing in the woods, or the creek monster or something. That's always a nickname for them and stuff. So, but anyway, we're coming up on an hour. We usually talk an hour on here, John, and I don't want to keep you too long. So is there any other questions you have for us, or are you and number one, I want to...
No, I don't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't have any.
Okay. Well, we
just have to learn from each other,
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I wanted to thank you for coming on and talking to us about it. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out to me on the Facebook page. And how long have you been on the Facebook page?
On my Facebook?
No, the Facebook page that you reached out to me on, the Bigfoot Club Facebook page.
A couple of weeks, I think.
Okay. Well, I hope that you listen to the podcast. So I hope that you can listen to the podcast and just give us a critique or see how we're doing. And I'll try to put this episode out before Sunday. And I wanted to thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And if you ever need to talk to us, John, you can always text me back, and I'll call you, and we'll talk.
All right. We all try to have a good night.
You too, sir.
Too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Wow, he's a real nice man.
Yeah, he was.
What are your thoughts on it?
Scary.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going out there just to, have a lovely camp out, or just, in a cabin, and then...
It sounds like a really nice cabin, too.
Yeah, it does. It's got a
shower and TV.
Bathroom, TV. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, bam, something walks by and you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's no different. I equate this. I'm going to reiterate this, dude. I put this in the same category as... Because, and I think well, you're going to be like, well, one of those outcomes is you're going to die. is putting the sighting of a Bigfoot and then a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Because definitely a grizzly bear is not going it's going to get to you. It's going to.
Well, I mean, if it's looking for food, or if it has young, yeah, it's going to attack you.
Yeah. But no, either way, you're walking or you're in the path and you're just minding your own business. You're enjoying scenery. Even if it's in a cabin, you're not, and you see a freaking huge ass thing. Like, and then would you say a grizzly bear is bigger than a Bigfoot? A Bigfoot would be, so that's even scarier.
Well, I mean, a grizzly's probably like up north somewhere. Like, there's no grizzlies down like in his area.
Still, I'm not like I'm not talking about the location. I'm talking about in the same situation. Like, you're out there, you're enjoying, and then all of a sudden, whether if you're in a cabin up north, and you see like a grizzly bear, like just walking, you're like, what the fucking? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, and then your first instinct is protection. Grab a gun,
Yeah.
Whether it be a 38 or something bigger.
Yeah, that would have just pissed it off.
Exactly.
It would have done anything.
It would have pissed it off, but that's your reaction.
I mean, he had to get picked up, point the gun right at his eye, and just shoot it.
Yeah.
Point blank, just maybe
before it could have done anything more than that. Because we're talking about, you've always told me stories of I guess reports of some people see Bigfoot, like they'll grab a deer or something, and they'll break its neck back and the legs forward.
The legs, yeah.
And I'm all like, in one swoop.
Yeah.
One swoop movement. That's terrifying. No different of what it would do to somebody his size or my size. And yeah, no. Like I said, it's a lovely evening that turned into a frightful, a little event like that.
You know what got me is that when he was talking about it turned, he said his face was flat.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
Yeah. But we've seen, like, drawings, how their nose is like kind of pushed in.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's an interesting, like, that's when like that little, like, I guess noticeable trait of that traumatizing thing. When it turned, his face was flat, or its face was flat.
I don't think we've ever interviewed somebody and then had a talking discussion afterwards.
No, we didn't.
This is our first time.
I think, yeah.
So hey, you got your mouth on the mic, right?
Yeah. I hope.
Okay.
I've literally been like this, but I don't want to be on it.
Yeah, you don't have to be like that, but.
Well, I mean, you told me to put my lips on the mic, so.
It's not like you're spitting now.
That's what I'm doing. I'm spitting out lyrics.
Homie.
I'll wet ya.
So, yeah, that was interesting talking to him.
Yeah, he sounds like, I just hope, like, he grew up in the woods and all, literally, like, always a woodsman. And I just hope that didn't really, like.
It sounds like it did. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, because like there's Bigfoot in his neighborhood or his areas that he goes, but he hasn't seen one, and he just happened to be on vacation in another state, and then he sees a Bigfoot.
He sees a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're gonna get that on out.
Coughing.
So,
leave that song on there.
Okay, I'll do it. So, I think I can try to probably put this out before Sunday and see what we can do. I gotta pee, man.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
Is it?
Pee in this.
No, I don't want to do that.
Come on. So you want to end the episode right now?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
You have any shout outs?
Yeah, I have a list here. Hold on. I'll just pull it out of my wallet.
You want to shout out to Rogue?
Yeah.
Juan Valdez.
Shout out to Juan Valdez, Noah Valdez. Shout out to Blair and Cassandra and the place.
Cassandra.
Even though we literally started the episode and then my son Ricardo threw up.
Yeah, we didn't say that in the beginning.
Yeah,
so.
but he threw up. I want to reiterate and say that the start of the episode was a little chaotic because he threw up.
Yeah.
In his bed.
Shout out to Grandma and my brothers and sisters, Raymond, Steve, Richard, David, Mary, everybody else in my family, Caitlin, Candace, Courtney. What are you doing?
I'm putting my beard on the mic.
On the mic. Okay. All right. Well, I think I can do something with this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Well, good night.
Good night and good luck.
All right.
Bye-bye.